All right, Coach. So a pretty convincing win today against Iowa Central. I mean, how are you feeling after this game?
Well, I'm feeling good because we have a bye week coming up, and we had 6 consecutive games, and the style of football that we play, gets you a lot of bumps and bruises, and so for us, it feels good to be 6-0 and go into a bye week, give you an opportunity to heal up, rest up a little bit, get our schoolwork right, and come back with some excitement for week 7.
So 6-0, ranked in the top 4 or 5.
We should be 2 next time.
2 next week, yeah. I mean,
1 and 2 played on Thursday,
okay.
And so there was a winner, and 1 won, and we were 3, so we should be 2.
I mean, how do you keep the guys locked in? I mean, I know when
You've never met me, have you? No, we're on the little things. James Franklin, the head coach at Penn State, lost to Ohio State, and afterwards he talked about their standard in letting little things slip, talking about little things such as cell phones and meetings, being late to a meeting, and then the coach is having a standard. The hard thing about coaching, and I mean this sincerely, is you get in coaching because you care about people and you want to help people get somewhere. But sometimes, sugar don't work, all right? So you have to get on them and get them to understand, why they have to do. And sometimes they don't understand. They'll say to you, I'm working hard. No, you're working hard as you've ever worked, but you're not working as hard as it takes. I have great respect for the University of Nebraska, and our players' goal is to be great enough to be great at Nebraska, not to be great enough to be great at Garden City.
Okay. Now, I guess when you're looking at how your career has gone here since you got here, it was kind of a rough year, year 1, but I mean, you've been extremely consistent ever since then. How have you kind of been able to create that culture here at Garden City?
Well, I've been fortunate. Okay, it's just like any job that you learn from the right people, and so I've worked at a place called Mount Sac in California, and where there's a great coach there named Bill Fisk who taught me some things, and then I played for a great coach in junior college named Carl Bowser, and I kind of feel like I've been taught the way it works. Like, we play against other junior colleges, but do they really know what it takes to be great in junior college? And I was fortunate that I played and coached with those 2 guys. This is my 10th year in junior college. This is our 6th time that we're 6-0. And I would tell you it's because we've learned what it takes. And, we beat people before the season even starts with our work ethic and commitment and what we expect from our players. And what we believe is that when we go out there and we're playing, it's just a product of the work that we've done. And then these guys graduate and they go on. If you really go through and see how our guys have done at the next level, we're not going D1. We're going there and starting and impacting programs. I mean, Levante David went to the University of Nebraska. He had 2 scholarship offers. He had South Florida and Nebraska. And I begged Nebraska to offer him. And they did. In his second game, he had 19 tackles. And then he went on and, he's an NFL pro. And, Mike Hughes, with Scott Frost, he had UCF. I don't know if people realize he walked on at UCF. We did what we called a blue shirt. He went there, he walked on, and then they gave him a scholarship, and then he was a first-round draft pick. And so we feel like we challenge a lot of issues here. I'm trying to correct things that could set them up to fail at the University of Nebraska. And when you were here earlier, I said to you, the guy that the University of Nebraska needs to recruit is Charles West. And Charles West, if you Google him, he made some mistakes as an 18-year-old. He's 22 years old. He's played for me for 3 years. We have been on him every minute of every day, and he has responded in a great way. I would put my job on Charles West because I believe in the young man. Just like I don't know you when you were 18, but I'm sure you're not the same person. And so Charles is a great person, and Diedrich, I'm excited about going to the Huskers, and I want people to know that are Husker fans is that Javon DeWitt's my friend. Well, I'm not going to send a player there that could hurt my friend. I have a lot of respect for Coach Frost. I have a lot of respect for Coach Held and the other coaches. So I'm really helping guys go there to have success. We can get them scholarships. I want them to go there and because I think it's a great university and it's a unique environment to play college football. And I think these guys are impactful, good young men that can do great things.
Well, now you mentioned West and Mills there.
Right.
I mean, have you had a backfield quite like those two?
I've had 4 All-Americans in 10 years at tailback. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I honestly do think that these two are the best I've ever had. Now, I say that, and I do it with a flinch because Jasmine Hopkins was National Player of the Year, and he's the toughest, hardest, but he can't do some of the things that both of those guys can do. He might be tougher, though. I had Trey Minner, who won a national championship for us, and he was just consistent, hardworking, and a great human being and a great player. And I had Rodney Levitt, who was, just tough. And all those kids were really grinders. God made something special when he made Dedrick Mills and Charles West. They have something just unique in them. I was fortunate that Indiana coached Tevin Coleman, and those guys have those types of God-given abilities. The other guys were all Americans because they willed themselves to it.
Now, with Dedrick's game, I guess what part of his game do you see really flourishing once he gets to Lincoln?
Well, I think he sees things naturally. Levante David was a incredible linebacker because he could see it all develop and then just pull the trigger and be there. Okay. Dedrick's that type of running back. He can see it all develop and then he hits it. And he's, when God made a running back, that's the style body he made. There's no waist. It's all muscle, big, thick legs. And so he's really hard to tackle. You're going to have to square him up. And so he's just not a lot of fun to tackle 25 times a game. And, I think he's going to be that guy that's going to wear people out and just pound on them and be a consistent 5 to 8 yard a carry guy.
Now, I know Nebraska's looking at a couple of your offensive linemen,
Right.
Bam and
Right.
Kadeem.
Right.
What is it about those guys that you think may suit them well at Nebraska, or what does Nebraska see out of them rather?
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and we talked about coaches at Nebraska. The offensive line coach is Greg Atkinson. I thought he did a incredible job at UCF. Like when I used to watch UCF last year, everybody would be like, wow, look at this offense. You could have ran any offense you wanted behind the way the offensive line was blocking. Coach has been here and seen our guys. At the time he saw them, I don't know that they were a finished product yet. So I don't know that Nebraska is going to recruit our guys. I think our guys have made some progress, and I think Coach might want to take another look at them. But he's done a great job there. So I don't know if he's decided that they're his type of guys yet. Bam is a freak talent. I think he needs some time to still learn some things. It would be like sending you to England and you're not the greatest soccer player ever, okay? But you got to learn kind of the culture and stuff like that. Kadeem, well, he probably have another year here and mature. As he matures, I think he'll be good. Another guy that fans may be interested in knowing about is Lakobe Tucker. He has come along this year, and he's visiting Utah next week. And Utah has told us that they think he is the best tackle in the country because of his effort. He's a great kid to cheer for. He's running 40 yards downfield, blocking people and stuff. So I see some good things out of him too.
Yeah, between Bam and Lakobe,
Yep.
You got a big line, but they make everyone else look kind of small out
Absolutely.
there. Nebraska signed a couple kids that ended up here in Willie Canty and Dominic Watt.
Yep.
How have those guys kind of acclimated into your squad here?
Well, Willie Canty, I can see why he was offered a scholarship in Nebraska. He's very athletic. He can run really well. What fans need to understand is that an offer out of high school and an offer out of junior college is different. A high school offer, you're going to bring them into the program and develop them and make them bigger and stronger and do all that. A junior college offer, you're bringing that dude into play right now. And that's where we got to take Willie. Willie's not ready to play at Nebraska yet, but man, you can see the ability and the talent. So I think we need to do a good job here getting him in the weight room and developing him some more. I think he might be a guy you guys come back next year and he's just mauling people. But we have to get him to that level. Dominic Watt, is really good. I mean, he's going to be he's a good person. He's a good player. He's very intelligent. He's hardworking. Now we have to take him again from the high school football player to a Big Ten football player, and we're not there yet. He probably had his worst game today, but he didn't have a good week of practice, and that's one thing I'm trying to explain to Dom is that he's a great kid, and what's hard sometimes with these really good kids is they're not used to being told what they're doing isn't good enough, because he's always been better than other people. He's well spoken, and so he's used to teachers saying you're a good guy and this and that, and then he's got me being crazy going that's not good enough, and the fact of the matter is if I coached in Nebraska, I would love to coach Dom, and I think he'll be a great player, but we have to get him to transition, and we're kind of in that transition phase.
All right, and just to wrap it up, Coach, how does this squad kind of compare to some of the best teams that you've coached in the past?
One of the reasons I think we're good in junior college is because we adapt to them. We don't make them to adapt to us. So they're different. In 2009, we won the national championship with the best defense in junior college football history. We had guys go straight from our team to the NFL that year, and they were incredible. In 2009 with Levante, we had Levante David on defense. We had 7 future NFL players on defense, and then we had an incredible hard running offense. I think this team has a chance. We just have to stay tight. We have to stay focused, and the ball's got to bounce your way a little bit. So I think they got a chance to be special, but you're not special till you're special.
Okay, and I lied. One more question.
Yeah.
Have you been able, I know you're laser focused on your team, but have you been able to at least pay attention to Nebraska's season, how things are going there, and what do you see from a coach's perspective if you have been able to pay attention to what's going on in Lincoln?
I do keep track of the scores because my friends are there. I haven't watched a game, but I've seen some highlights. I would tell you that they need to give them some time to recruit and to develop. I just watched some plays against some teams, and they just don't. They're just not at the talent level that some of the other teams are, and so I don't know the whole parameter if the guys are young or what, but the fans need to be supportive and give these coaches the opportunity to recruit and develop. Now, what I would tell you is this, and I mean this, there's probably not a better group of guys in the country to play for. They really are good people. And so if they give them some time and let them do what they need to do, I would tell fans this, if you get down on that team, the recruits know that. And they need to be ultra supportive so that the recruits know that support is unwavering, and you can get some great players to come there. Because right now, just when I watch them play Troy, Troy looked like they had more talent than them, and that's just not what Nebraska needs. You're not going to win Big Ten football without talent. I ran recruiting in Indiana. We were able to build NFL offensive linemen and NFL tailbacks, and we had the #1 offense in the Big Ten. We went out and got those guys, and we developed them in the weight room, and they got to give Nebraska the time to do that.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys, man.